Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I've been married to a covert narcissist for almost 20 years. I'm separated from him now, and on this channel I use my real life experiences to get information out there to people about what narcissism really is, what it looks like, what it does to you, and what it does to your family. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a narcissistic injury. So in brief, a narcissistic injury is when a narcissist gets their feelings hurt. They don't respond well to it. Narcissists have very low self-esteem, and that makes them incredibly sensitive to real or perceived criticism. They don't like boundaries being put up, and they don't like being held accountable for their actions. If they are, instead, a rational person would take it for what it is. If it's true, they would own it or try to accept it, or, what can you do? Or if, say, somebody said something that wasn't true, you wouldn't just sit there with hurt feelings. You would deny it or move on with your life. A narcissist doesn't do that. They're very focused on the way that people treat them. So a narcissist can also get a narcissistic injury if their insatiable need for admiration or praise is denied. If something goes wrong in a narcissist's life, it's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. They will get a narcissistic injury, and the person whose fault it is must pay. They're very vengeful people. So if a narcissist, it depends what type of narcissist you have on how they're going to react. My husband will typically give me a silent treatment. He loves the silent treatment. If he doesn't like something I say, he will shut me down. And when I've been in the room with him when he does this, I can actually see it on his eyes. That's the thing about narcissists. They're actors. They're always trying to cover up the reality. They're like an iceberg. If you see an iceberg, you see the very tip of it. You don't see the majority of it, which is under the water. Narcissists are like that. You see just a small portion of them. The real them, the majority of the person is actually hidden from view. They're liars. They're secret keepers. They don't communicate. Everything is hidden away from you. And if you find out about it, you're going to be in for the shock of your life, because there'll be a whole bunch of stuff. I know so many things that my husband has done. I know so many lies, so many secrets, so many betrayals. But I also recognize that what I know, it is only the tip of the iceberg. God knows what is underneath that water. I don't think I want to know, because I think it would really scare me. Narcissists have no morality. So if you don't have any morals, there's nothing that you won't do. My husband doesn't have the fear of God in him. He doesn't care. Everything's very black or white. He can be great, or he can be a complete jerk. It just depends how his ego is stroked that day. Now, several years ago, my husband was at work and he was being given a review. And the way the review worked is you were given a score of 1 to 4 in different aspects of your job, 4 being the highest. So there was one area that my husband thought he was going to get a 4 in, and he got a 3 in it. Now, let me just try to have you picture this scene. My husband is 6'2", 250 pounds, and he was meeting with his female boss. And she gave him a 3 on something that he thought he should get a 4 on. He cried at work. It's crazy for me to think of that. A grown man crying at work. And he himself told me the story. And he wasn't telling me the story with any shame. He was telling me this happily. This was a good thing. He won. Narcissists are always playing games. He won at that. He was injured, but then he was able to redeem himself. She gave him the 3, he's injured. He was able to redeem himself and get that 4. Yeah, it took some tears, and he's a grown man, but there's no pride in that. It doesn't matter. He won. He got the 4. It's what happens at the end that matters to the narcissist. They don't care about the day-to-day stuff. They want the end result to be exactly how they want it to be. And they're not afraid to punish you. My husband is really big on silent treatments. And I can see him change when he's about to give me a silent treatment. His face will be one way, then his mask will slip off. And when his mask slips off, I see the real him, who he truly is. Like we talked about that iceberg earlier. I'm seeing below the water level. I'm seeing what he really is. Narcissists, they're very raw underneath, and they're always trying to cover stuff up. So if they can't, they're not going to confront it. They're not going to deal with it like a normal person. If you're with a covert narcissist, they'll go into a silent treatment, and you can see it in their face. They'll be one way, and this happens within seconds. They'll be one way, then they'll get the injury, and within seconds, they're done talking to you. But with my husband, I can see the progression on his face. If you've ever seen like somebody who's not alive anymore, a dead person or a dead animal, besides the obvious of them not breathing, you can tell somebody's dead by looking at their eyes, because all the light in a person is behind the eyes. Like the soul of a person is there. That's where it lives. And when you die, that leaves, and you can't see it anymore. And it's very visible on the face. My husband, I can see he has a look just like that. It's actually called the narcissistic stare. He will go from however he was to glaring at me with hatred, because there's no love. My husband will like me if we're having fun, but if he's angry with me, he doesn't still feel love for me. He hates me. So he doesn't care what happens to me. He doesn't care if I'm upset. He doesn't care if I need him. He doesn't care about anything other than punishing me and making me feel the pain that he feels all the time. They project onto you. They can't admit that they're horrible people. They can't admit that they've done things wrong. It's always somebody else's fault. And so they must punish you. It's very deliberate. So, I can see my husband, he'll go from having his mask on to glaring at me, just having this pure hatred, to the silent treatment. So this happens in moments, but it's happened so many times. I'm very perceptive on it. I know right away when he's going to do it because of the change in his face. Narcissists are never going to change. They don't have any problems punishing you. They want to punish you. They want you to feel how they feel every day, because, like I said, they don't have the ability to love. They don't have a goodness and a genuineness in them. So if you are with a narcissist, in time, the narcissistic injury is going to happen. So like I said, you're with a covert narcissist, the person is probably going to ignore you. I've been married for 18 years. I can literally think of one time where my husband verbally assaulted me. Just one time. He is a covert narcissist through and through, and he will just not speak. He will refuse to communicate. He'll pretend that he can't. He'll say, oh, I'm not good at communicating. This is like later after the silent treatment, because he's not going to say it during the silent treatment. Say he can't talk. It's not his fault. He's somehow, I don't know, somebody's clamping his mouth shut. I don't know what he wants me to believe, but apparently that's his issue. If you are with an overt narcissist, they are more likely to yell and scream at you. My father-in-law actually is an overt narcissist, and I have heard him with my own ears tell his wife that she is stupid, she is ugly, she is not good enough for him, she is a loser, just horrible things. And he'll say this in front of anybody. He's told my mother-in-law in front of my kids are teenagers now, but when they were small, like toddlers, he would tell them that their grandmother is ugly, that their grandmother is old. He would almost encourage them to say these things about their grandmother. This is how narcissists are. They're very hate-filled people. They don't love you. They don't have a love that they carry around with you. And the thing is, they'll get mad at you. They'll have a narcissistic injury for something that they did. You're being punished for themselves. The way that they act. In a worst case scenario, a narcissist can even be physically violent. I'm definitely not going to rule this out. It doesn't usually happen, but it can. A narcissist, when you hear about people who, there's like a murder-suicide, now typically it is a male killing a family, but it can also be a female too. There have been females that have wiped out their families. But that has narcissism written all over it, has narcissistic injury written all over it, because the narcissist is about to be, typically what will happen is the narcissist is about to be confronted with some reality they don't want to face. And oftentimes it is that they have built up huge debt. They're about to lose their house. Something bad's going to happen. And they're not going to deal with it. They're going to punish everybody. So the wife, the kids, they must die because of the narcissist's own transgression. They don't accept anything. They'll take out a whole family. They just don't care. So the moral of this is that if you are with a narcissist for any length of time, you're going to experience their rage. You're gonna give them a narcissistic injury, and they're gonna have to punish you. So it's horrible and it's sad, but the only thing you can do is get out. And it's not always easy to just get out. I totally understand that, because I'm separated from my husband, but I'm not divorced yet. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's nothing. Just get out and don't look back. Unfortunately, that is not how it is, but you can still save yourself. First, remember not to take it personally. This took me a long time, but I'm able to not take anything he says personally, anything he does personally, because I know he's a very sick person. So if your narcissist is treating you poorly, it is no indication of your worth. It is 100% on them, how they treat you. If they're not going to learn, if they're not going to want to change, they're risking losing good people. And that's just the reality. So if you're with a narcissist, remember, don't take it personal. And when it's possible, get out of the relationship. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Please consider liking the video, giving the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe to the channel. I hope everybody has a great day, a great night, whatever, when you're listening to this, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.